Welcome to the Bucs Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 3 over-unders to bet. Let's get this money. Last week, it seemed like every game turned into a shootout, besides for the Sunday night game. We even saw Spencer Rattler and Matt Jones get into the 20s. Let's get this money. We're going reverse order. Monday Night Football. We got the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens, over, under 53. I'm going under. But I don't have a great read or vibe about this game because you have two prolific offenses, and we saw what Detroit did last week. But the reason why I'm going the under is I think this Ravens defense matches up well with the Lions' targets. Now, if the Lions run the ball for $150, $175, then all bets are off. But if the Lions have to throw this ball and Jared Goff has to stand back there and scan the field, I just think this Ravens secondary is going to keep getting better, and I feel like it's a top 5 unit in the league. And for all the struggles the Lions defense had week 1 against the Packers, they certainly answered against the Bears. But we can't judge too much from that Bears game, firstly, because it's a blowout. We have to put variance into the factor. And secondly, we have to just point out that the Bears offense is out of ideas, out of creativity, and there's just a low-intensity offense when you have Caleb Williams out there. I'm going under the 53, no damn science. Next game, Sunday Night Football. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants, over, under 44.5. I'm going over. And it's just like these Chiefs games, they do tend to go under more times than not. And I do like hitting the under in their games. I just can't do it here. And I have absolutely no science involved. Because this Giants defensive line is an absolute problem. And we know a huge issue with this Chiefs team is their offensive line, specifically the right side with Jawan Taylor. I mean, he's just not even getting out of his stance. I just think Mahomes will be able to create enough points. And last week, you guys know I was excited about Russell Wilson against the Dallas defense. Yes, I know the Chiefs' defense is a lot better than Dallas, specifically in the secondary. But can I be honest, man? I don't know if this is the same Chiefs defense. I'm going over the 44.5. Like I said, not a ton of science here, not a strong lean. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers, over, under 44.5. I'm going to go over, but I just simply don't know. I don't know what we're going to see out of both quarterbacks. And I know Kyler Murray's stat sheet looked great against the Panthers, but game flow was in his direction. It was an easy day at the office, and he still tried to fumble the bag. I mean, that's just Kyler Murray. And then you speak of just letting opportunities just fall through your hands when you secure it. I mean, Mac Jones, but I like the way Mac Jones played, specifically second quarter on against the Saints. Guys, no science here. I'm going over. Please don't bet this. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers, over, under 45.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going under. And before we talk about the under for the 45.5, that's a money pick. I do want people to keep an eye on this team total for the Chargers. Right now, it's at 23.5 at minus 110. Obviously, that doesn't interest me too much. But if it gets up to 24.5, I would be very happy with that under. And let's get to the 45.5. Listen, was it the best day at the office for the Broncos defense? Absolutely not. Like, Daniel Jones looked good. Shane Steichen had Vance Joseph a little bit off balance, and the run game with Jonathan Taylor was a big issue for the Broncos. But they did make the plays to win the game. The Broncos should have won that game. And when it came down to situational football, red zone defense, fourth down defense, I felt like the Broncos defense came to play. And last week, I saw Pat Surtain get whooped by like Alec Pierce. And I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen. I'm not hating on Alec Pierce. He's got just sneaky speed. I know he's white, so they always say white guys have sneaky speed, but he's got sneaky speed. But he's not someone I would picture just eating Pat Surtain alive. I can't see that happening again. And while the Chargers look great, and while this passing offense looks like it's rejuvenated, I've always liked Herbert. I've always liked this Chargers team when they're throwing the ball more. But I do think they clench up a little bit, and I do think their targets come with a long list of limitations. And this Broncos defense has to respond. On the other side of the ball, I can't say I'm the biggest Bo Nix guy, and he was very good against the Colts. He was very poor against the Titans. I just think that's what you get out of Bo Nix. Everyone's waiting for some sort of gigantic leap forward from him, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm not saying the Broncos aren't going to win a lot of games. I'm not saying the Broncos aren't going to be competitive on offense with Sean Payton. But there are limits to Bo Nix. I know Khalil Mack is going to miss this game, and if you don't have him, you wonder, well, how are the Chargers going to get pressure against the Broncos offensive line that is going to be ready and that is going to be fit for this game? I'm going to under 45.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys, them boys, at the Chicago Bears, the Bears. Over, under 51. My bad, guys. I hope that didn't break your ears. I'm going under the 51. Dude, there's just no science here. It's a big number for a Caleb Williams-led offense. Like, I understand this number for a Dallas-led offense with Dak Prescott, who's had two very, very good games. And I got to give Dak some credit, and I know that Giants secondary, specifically at the corner position, there's just not, like, good enough. Like, wasn't Banks, like, benched, like, 2 or 3 times last year? But anyways, I know the Giants secondary isn't the best, but Dak was an absolute warrior against the Giants. The Giants defensive line hit him maybe, like, 10, 12 times in the game, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, and he battled through it. And one thing about the Bears that I noticed last week, and we know they had a pass rush against the Vikings, but have the Vikings blocked anyone without Christian Darrisaw? And we didn't see them block anyone on the Bears. But when you're watching that Lions game against the Bears, I just did not see any pass rush from the Bears. I'm going to go under the 51, but this is like more so because of Caleb Williams, and I think the Bears have to slow this game down. Like, their offense was actually competent in the first half, but they were a run-first team with DeAndre Swift. That's why they were competent. If they have to throw and get into a shootout, I could actually see this getting ugly. I'm going under the 51. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles, over, under 44.5. I'm going under, but I like the under Eagles team total in this game. I saw it at 24.5 on some books. I saw it at 23.5 on some books. I just really respect both of these defenses. And when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, everyone wants to talk about Saquon Barkley. Everyone wants to talk about Jalen Hurts. I guess I would start with the offensive line, but this Rams defensive line just has a ton of fucking verb, man, and they have depth, and the way Fisk and Verse are playing, I think they can destroy the game, and I know the Rams weren't great against Saquon Barkley last year, but I do like this Rams front seven in that matchup. I'm not saying they're going to dominate or eat the Eagles' the Eagles' launch offensively, but I think they're going to be more than competitive, and I think they're going to force Hurts to throw it. And I know everyone says this Rams secondary stinks, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of young players. There's a lot of no names in there, but they performed well last year, and I think they perform well again. On the other side, I'm just not excited about the Rams offense like everyone else. Like, when we talk about the Rams, like, I'm more excited about the defensive line than I am about Devontae Adams and Stafford and Nakua. Like, I guess maybe I'm in the minority. I know offense sells, like, kind of like the home runs with Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. Chicks dig the long ball, and I get it. It's just I just think this Rams team is a defensive football team, and they're if the Rams are running the ball at a high level on offense, then this is like a top 5 offense. When you get Stafford in some play action, you can get it down the field. And Devontae Adams looked absolutely filthy against the Tennessee Titans. But with that being said, this Eagles defense is for real, and we know Vic Fangio is going to be game and ready to go. I'm going under the 44.5. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts, dimes, at the Tennessee Titans, over, under 43.5. This is tough. I'm going over. Not a strong lean, but I'm not high on this Colts defense, and I wonder how they're going to travel outside of that dome. And the reason why this isn't a strong lean is because people need to put in perspective that, firstly, I like what Daniel Jones is doing. I was happy when Steichen gave him the starting job over AR. I was happy. But there are limits to this, and 2 games is a small sample size, and both of those games were in the dome. And I'm seeing the Tennessee Titans secondary make basic mistakes. But this Tennessee front seven is very good, especially when you're talking about people like Jeff Simmons and getting in run lanes and staying in the run fits. And I think if you can stop Jonathan Taylor, I think you can leave the Colts in some tougher situations. We haven't seen Danny Dimes get into 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 11s. Against the Dolphins, he had 1 3rd and 7 the whole fucking game. So, there isn't a lot of sample size, and this Titans offense has been looking better, and I think this Colts defense is weak. So I'm going to go over the 43.5, not the strongest lean in the world. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Seattle Seahawks, over, under 41.5. Money, money, money. Money over. When I say Sam Darnold, you just bet it all on over. No one go crazy here. But this is the borderline over money pick. And another one that I'm interested in is the Saints team total at 16.5. Now that's going to be a tough sell, but hear me out. So let's start with the Saints. I like what Spencer Rattler's doing. And I know this Saints offensive line is absolutely fugazi. And this is a Seattle front seven that's tough, physical, and getting better. They don't have any big names. They got Leonard Williams. But I actually don't actually think Leonard Williams is that good anymore. I'm more impressed by the other performances on that defensive line. So obviously you worry about the Saints offensive line that is a bottom 10 unit in the league against a good defensive line on the road. Both of the Saints games were at home in the Superdome. But I like the game flow. I like the play calling that Kellen Moore is putting into Spencer Rattler's palms. And has Spencer Rattler made the fourth quarter plays that is necessary in the last 5 minutes? No. But he has made some big plays, particularly in the red zone. I don't know if you guys saw that touchdown pass to Juwan Johnson. And we also need to remember the Seahawks still have a lot of injuries in the secondary. We don't know if we don't know if they're going to be fully healthy in the secondary. And you have to remember, you do have Shaheed and Olave and Kamara ran the ball good against a pretty good 49ers front seven. So I think the Saints will be dance partners here. I think they can get into that 17-20 range more than easy. And then on the Seahawks side, I mean, I felt like the Steelers made a lot of mistakes on defense. But I know everyone wants to talk about Sam Darnold, although there was 2 bad first half interceptions. But Smith and Jig was playing at a really high level. And the thing that was encouraging, if I'm a Seahawks fan, about the Steelers game is they were able to run the ball. And if the Seahawks are able to run the ball, that makes the Sam Darnold experience a lot better, a lot more, how can I say this, palpable. And it'll have more duration than the first 2 weeks. So I'm going to go over the 41.5. I think we see some points here. I think both teams get into the 20s, and that should be enough to push it over. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Bucs. We're getting Tyrod over under 43.5. I'm going over. I mean, man, I do think this Bucs offense is going to drop off a little bit this year. I mean, Chris Godwin will come back eventually, and that's going to be a boost. And obviously, that's going to give Baker and this new offensive coordinator more options and more luxury. But yeah, man, this is more just going over because the Jets defense, and it's not the personnel or talent on defense for the Jets. It's just like they're dropping coverages. I'm not liking what Aaron Glenn's doing, and I'm just not liking what Aaron Glenn's doing, but it's a slow process. His defense started really slow with the Lions. I mean, he's really stubborn, but, you know, he's got time to experiment. He's got time to grow into the job. I'm going over the 43.5. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jags. Over, under 45. I'm going under. I don't know. And I know more about these teams than 99% of people, and I just don't know. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Over, under 43. Money. Give me over. This one is tough because I don't like Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. I don't like the way he calls games. And I felt like he's left a lot of points on the board, whether it be week 1 against the Bucs, where they should have won the game. They should have won the game by fucking 10 points. Or week 2 against the Vikings, you know, like, some of that shit was really bad, especially when they got in the red zone. Like, and there's a lot of pistol, and pistol is all well and good, but you also, one thing we see with the Falcons, they run the ball on first down a lot. And yes, you see Bijan getting 7, 8, 9 yards, maybe even breaking a big run like he did in the first drive against the Vikings. But you also get a little bit of the Adrian Peterson effect. A lot of 2nd and 13s because he lines up so fucking deep, and it's slow. It's so slow developing. You can get tackled in the backfield. Like, that hurts game flow. That hurts rhythm for the quarterback. But with that being said, if there's a team to run the ball against, it's Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers defense was barely on the field against the Cardinals, as crazy as that sounds. When they spend the game on the field more, they'll give up more points, they'll give up more yards. But also, This Falcons defense has been overperforming. And one thing that I've liked is Raheem Morris is sending more blitzes. You have to when you don't have a dominant pass rusher or 3 or 4 good pass rushers or at least above average pass rushers. So they're sending the blitz, and Carolina has struggled with the blitz. But also, I want people to remember, like, Bryce Young and the Panthers have started both games in extreme negative game flow with backs up against the wall, starting 10-0, 14-0, scores like that. So I think if they start with a better game flow, they can get into the 20s easy here, and I think the Falcons should get into the 20s. And I also like Michael Penix, but like I said, Zach Robinson is covering up a lot of the stuff he does good, which is rather frustrating. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Washington No Names. Over, under 44. I'm going over. I have no idea. We don't know if Daniels is going to play. We don't know if Mariota is going to play. We don't know how many picks Geno's going to throw. I'm joking. But I'm worried about Raiders running the ball. That's why my lean isn't strong. If the Raiders are able to run the ball and give Geno another option, I think they can move the ball and put up points. I'm just not sure they can. And this Commanders defense looked better against the run the first 2 weeks of the year than they did last year. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at my Minnesota Vikings. Over, under 41.5. I'm going under, but I don't know. I have no lean here. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New England Patriots. Over, under 44.5. I'm going over. I know it's the Dolphins defense. I know the Dolphins have the worst secondary in the league, but we got to give Drake May some credit, and they finally got going. And, Patriots have a hard time running the ball dating back to last year, and I'm not sure they solved that. I'm not sure. But this Steelers defense is all over the place. They're just not coached well right now. And Jalen Ramsey got cooked all game by Smith and Jigba. So I know the Patriots don't have any wide receivers, but I think if you can work Stephon Diggs into the slot against the Steelers, it can create some matchup issues. On the other side, I think this Patriots defense is overrated, even with Vrabel and his scheme. I'm going over. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. Over, under 41.5. I'm going under. I don't know. This one is really tough. Next game, Thursday Night Football, Fins at Bills, 49.5. I did a Thursday night video. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. I'm going to go over on the Fins Bills, but dude, when a game could be a blowout, you don't really have a lean. Hit the like button, share the videos, the best gambling show on the internet.